Good evening, everybody. David Paul with you in the KHOU 11 Weather Center. I'm Chief Meteorologist David Paul. Here's your Atlantic tropical update for Friday evening, September 17th. And we have a new storm. We've got Tropical Storm Odette. That was 96L, now a tropical storm off the east coast of the United States. And Invest 95L still possibly could develop over the weekend. It may graze by the U.S. Virgin Islands. A close look at these systems as we move along. We're now up to 15 named storms this season. Let's see. So 15 names, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hurricanes, 3 majors. Ida, Larry, and Grace have been our 3 major hurricanes for the season. So with 15 named storms, that's now above the average for a complete season of 14 named storms in one season. Let's see, so 7 hurricanes is normal. We've had 6. We've had 3 major hurricanes. So we're halfway through the system. We've got 50% of the season left, and we're already at an average for an entire season. So clearly we are headed for a well above average season, although we are below last year's pace, which set a record season for us. Here's the way it looks in the open Atlantic basin tonight. It's busy. Remnants of Nicholas still impacting the southern United States. There's Odette, who's formed off the coast of Virginia. We have a spot here near the Cape Verde Islands with a 30% chance for development over the next 5 days. And I think this may develop, but this is not going to impact much of anyone. It should stay out over the open Atlantic Ocean. This is 95L, 80% chance for development here. Again, that one may impact the U.S. Virgin Islands as we head into the weekend and early next week. Let's begin with Odette. Now our tropical storm. The system itself is still shear. You can see we've got a center that is exposed from the deeper convection, which is being torn off to the north and east. Upper level winds are a big factor in this one not becoming a hurricane most likely, and in fact really struggling to maintain its identity as a tropical storm. This is the visible satellite from today. We do go into darkness as the sun sets, but this is an elongated area of low pressure. It's not a real tightly developed system yet, and again the center is almost completely exposed, the low level spin with the cluster of bigger thunderstorms off to the north and east. You need to get those thunderstorms over that developing low-level center to get quick intensification, or really any intensification at all, and that at the moment is not happening. So we're a minimal tropical storm with winds of 40, and the pressure's at 10 millibars. I mean, this is as minimal a tropical storm situation as I think you may ever see. And it may not get much stronger. We go up top. These are the winds at 34,000 feet. I've got them superimposed on top of the surface plot of Odette. Still, that southwesterly shear is ripping the storms apart up at the top, just sort of decapitating the storm. And that shear will maintain itself over the next several days, and so I doubt this is going to become a hurricane. In fact, it may get ripped apart and become extratropical or post-tropical fairly quickly as we head through the weekend. This takes us into Saturday, and the upper level winds really do nothing but increase as the surface-based system moves along. As we've talked about, you get that upper level wind up top and it rips the storm apart. In the least case, it tilts it over, which disrupts the circulation. It wants to be vertically stacked. And in this case with Odette, it has exposed the low-level center. Low-level center's here, and all the convection's off to the north and east. That's a system that most likely will not intensify too much as a tropical entity. Spaghetti plots on this, they haven't really changed much. They take it off to the northeast, south of Nova Scotia. Some of them do still graze Newfoundland and St. John's. We've got our eye on you. You may see at least some minor to moderate impacts from whatever comes out of Odette. A lot of the spaghetti plots take it up here to the North Atlantic and then just kind of curly-cue it around. It really does look like a bowl of spaghetti. Canadian's interesting. And then some of them go ahead and race it off to the northeast and put a pretty big northern storm across the North Atlantic through Reykjavik, Iceland. This one, if it does take that type of a path, the H-Wharf takes it up here, could be another big snowstorm for Greenland and the higher elevations on Iceland. Here's the official forecast track from the Hurricane Center, taking it through Sunday, Monday. They keep it a tropical storm through Saturday, then just weaken it to a, I'm not going to say remnant low, but some sort of a post-tropical low. And that low could still intensify in the North Atlantic as we head through Sunday, Monday, but it's going to lose its tropical characteristics. And notice St. John's, Newfoundland, you're just outside the northern edge of that cone. And remember, when you look at a forecast cone, statistically, it's just as likely that the center of the storm will pass across the northern edge of the cone as it would the southern edge of the cone, or east or west side of the cone, right or left-hand side. So don't focus right on the center of that cone. The entire cone, statistically, is in play. Remember, with forecasts, we're dealing with probability, not certainty. And then when you see a big bubble like that, any point in a forecast cone, it just means the storm is forecast to perhaps slow down, and you get a large area of uncertainty. And you saw that depicted with the spaghetti plots being very uncertain. Here are the two big models we lean on, GFS, the American model, and the European model. They're very similar as we head into Sunday. So Saturday and Sunday developing, it's a tropical storm and then becomes a North Atlantic low. And look at how the isobars stacked up across St. John's, Newfoundland, even across Nova Scotia and Halifax. That's a lot of wind energy out of the north across Nova Scotia, out of the northeast across Newfoundland, significant seas and waves near the coast. Then the GFS and American begin to split a little bit going into Wednesday, but still have a storm out here. So this is a long period event for folks across Halifax, Nova Scotia, and Newfoundland. And then going into Friday, this is Friday of next week. So a week from now, we may still be dealing with some sort of a system out here, although both models indicate a weakening system. All right, so that's Odette. Here's 95L, and I've got both these circled. 95L is here, 80% chance for development. This spot here is south of the Cape Verde Islands. Computers do develop it briefly over the weekend, send it north, and then just curve it and weaken it and fizzle things out off the coast of Africa. So this one is kind of on the back burner right now. I'm going to focus on the potential for 95L to become a depression or a tropical storm, and really it's because this one may impact in one way or another the U.S. Virgin Islands, the Greater and Lesser Antilles, but the U.S. Virgin Islands right in here, the northern island chain, you may end up getting a tropical storm, perhaps a tropical depression develop as we head through the weekend into early next week. This is Monday at 2 a.m. early in the morning on Monday. So some wind and rain, I think, is likely whatever happens here. Whether, even if you have a tropical wave, it looks like a vigorous tropical wave or some sort of low-end tropical low. And then the American model continues to hold on to a little bit of a low, weakens it as we head into Wednesday of next week. The Euro grabs back onto it and forms a tropical low. This is well east of the Bahamas. So are the Bahamas in play here? I don't think so. Most of the guidance wants to turn whatever tries to form there back to the north. Now Bermuda, right in here, European model has a tropical low of one intensity or another sitting near you next Friday, a week from today. So you may have to deal with a tropical storm. That could end up being Peter as we head into next week and the end of next week. Spaghetti plots on 95L mirror what we saw with the Euro and the American model. They bring it northwest, skirt the U.S. Virgin Islands, and then turn it to the north, and the bulk of them take it up toward Bermuda as we head to the end of next week. So this would be a week from today. Bermuda could be impacted. Some do turn it sooner than that. A couple other outliers take it across the Greater Antilles. Still a lot of uncertainty because we don't have a closed low yet, so we'll continue to keep track of that possibility. We do have a remnant low, still a remnant low, of what at one point was Hurricane Nicholas. Here's Nicholas' circuitous path up the Texas coast, making landfall, Matagorda County. So many people, Matagorda County, Brazoria County, are still without power, and they may be without power for a while, as although it was just a low-end Cat 1, did a lot of damage to the electrical infrastructure on the coastal counties of southeast Texas. The center of the low is now over northern Louisiana, and take a look, even though this is the remnant low, what these remnant lows can do is focus, especially at night, these little rain bands that can sit and spin on you for a couple of hours, and you've got a flash flood advisory along the I-20 corridor from Grambling to Monroe. That's until 10:30 on this Friday evening. There's your remnant low sitting just south of Jonesboro. And as we look at the rainfall potential across the southeast United States, so our remnant low is sitting right here, and off to the dirty side of that remnant low, here's where your heaviest rain potential is. Just classic, dirty side. Birmingham, Alabama, Huntsville, Alabama, into Nashville, Tennessee, you could see significant rain, 1 to 3, 3 to 5 in some isolated spots, is now not out of the question as we go over and through this coming weekend. And then our attention turns to the Pacific Northwest. So you're no stranger to lots of rain in the Pac Northwest, Vancouver, Seattle, Portland. What's happening is we're changing seasons here as we head through the weekend and the next week. No matter where you live in the United States, if you watch your local weather person, they're probably talking about this cold front coming in next week, just in time for the official beginning of fall. The fall equinox is on Wednesday. And here's how this is going to play out. We have a significant trough developing off the Pacific Northwest. That's going to create the rain as we head into the weekend across the Pac Northwest. So these upper level troughs, think of them as kind of opening up a pathway for colder air to come down from our northern latitudes. And as we look at temperatures up here, it's not bitter cold. Barrow, Alaska's 33, Anchorage is 52, Whitehorse and the Klondike is 46. But going over and taking a look at Siberia, it's not bitter cold here either. Leningradsky is below freezing at 30, Belaya Gor is 38, Deputatsky is at freezing, 32. But there is a little bit of cross-polar flow, a little bit of a cross-polar coming across from Siberia into Alaska. So this is going to pull down a good spoonful of cooler air as we head into the weekend. So here's how this plays out. We've got our trough, little cross-polar. It pulls down that cooler air into that trough and down into the lower 48. We get a surface front that forms in the lee of the Rockies as that trough digs in. And by Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, that trough's pushing across the mid-Mississippi Valley. And that's going to bring a change in the weather from summer to, by the time we get to next Thursday, this is 7 a.m. next Thursday morning. Look at these low temperatures across the USA. Houston, 58. Nashville, 52. Des Moines, Iowa, 45. Denver, 51. We're going to turn the entire lower 48 into fall by the time we get into the second half of next week. I'm kind of looking forward to that. Oh, and snow. So this is going to create some snow in the northern Rockies. Maybe 2 to 4 inches, 6 inches in some spots. So, we're looking at Vancouver, across western and the mountainous area of British Columbia. This is the Banff area of Canada. So Calgary, Alberta, the mountains near you may see several inches of snow as our first little winter, little fall-like system comes into the northwest. Well, that's where we stand across the tropics and the northern hemisphere across North America tonight. Questions, comments, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you'd like to see. We'll have another update as we head through the weekend and into next week as we stay in the heart of tropical season. We'll be back with more.